Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks. This is the podcast where we take your seasonally acquired first world problems and then create a solution and in lozenge form and give it to you in a little pack so that you are happy. Yes, I am still quite ill. I'm Dan.
I'm Dom.
And I'm Dean.
Oh, special guest in the studio.
So Ross has been officially banished to the Orient.
Yes.
On a mystical quest to acquire magical powers.
He wants to fire ping pong balls out of certain orifices, I heard.
That is correct.
That is the mystical powers he is acquiring.
Yes. It's a party trick that we've been hoping to get him to learn for a long time.
Wait for a couple of weeks live stream, lads and lasses, if you're interested.
And this actually marks the last remaining orifice that Ross can't shoot ping pong balls out of,
That's
I believe.
very true. His nostrils, his ear holes, everything.
Yeah.
Even his armpits.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is unusual given Ross's strange fascination with things going up his bum.
Very, very, very strange.
So, we are going to start the show with a little bit of mail.
Mail. This is
a little bit of Dan mail. However, this is more in Dom's realm than mine. So I thought he should read it. Yes.
So this is from James Hemming himself, leader of MI Sticks, head of the Deadly Nightshades. He begins by, so glad you appreciate quality gaming. I believe he's referring to our discussion on the news at Sticks last week about, or earlier on this week, in fact, about the Sega Mega Drive, etc.
We did discuss the Sega Mega Drive, and Ross had a... I can't remember what it was.
Yes, that's right.
Did you have any... What was your first games console, D?
The first one I owned was actually the Xbox 360, but the one in my house was I believe it was the Master System with Sonic preloaded onto it.
So the Sega Master System, yeah. That was before the Mega Drive.
It might have been Alex the Kid. I think this Master System 2 we had Sonic.
Yeah, it's the Mega Drive, it's the Master System 2. Alex the Kid was on the Master System.
Strong Master System knowledge. I'm just going to solve the first world problem of the week by just quickly doing this.
Where's he going?
Oh, it seems my mic wasn't the wrong way around.
And Dan is doing Dean's microphone. And there we go.
Thank you.
Bit better now. He goes on to say, I still play Streets of Rage 1 and 2.
Yes.
It's up there with Altered Beast and Double Dragon for me. Altered Beast is a horrifically crap, fucking horribly hard game. For those of you that don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure, James, if you've ever completed the first Streets of Rage, but it is the most infuriating win ever, because as I'm sure many people who have these or had these consoles know, there was no saving back then. So our friend Steve and I spent one night, actually several nights, playing Streets of Rage until the early hours of the morning. One particular night we found the time to actually complete it, and you get to the last level and there's this big fat boss.
Yes. It's a bit like the Kingpin, really.
Yes, and he gives you a choice, and you have the choice. The last level, you beat him, and he says, you can either join me or you can basically, kill me now. So we thought, we had this decision to make. Neither of us had ever got to this point. We refused to Google it. So we decided to join him. And then he basically just goes, ha, 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 ha. You go back about 4 fucking levels and you have to fight your way back there. So we did it. We fought all the way back. And we thought, well, now we're going to choose the, basically end it. Credits roll, mate. That's it.
Yeah.
We thought there was going to be something like past it, like we were going to, there was going to be something else.
Like an ending cutscene.
Yeah, like something interesting, but
that's not how they roll.
It was a little bit devastating. Hours.
Bow.
My favorite is, I just loved it when you call in reinforcements. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple I always loved was Golden Axe.
Fucking
Oh
Golden
yeah,
Axe.
Golden Axe.
And Road
that,
Rash.
That had a really ridiculously satisfying, like when you picked up the little like apple things, it goes like, it
Yeah.
go like, whoop.
Oh yeah. Whoop. Wow. It brought him back to his first gaming experience. He used to play on his dad's Sinclair QL. His mum developed an addiction for
My
Frogger.
penis is called Sinclair too.
His dad's Sinclair QL. What?
My penis is called Sinclair too.
I see. I don't get the joke.
Used to play on my dad's Sinclair.
Oh, okay. That's odd.
Ah.
His mum developed an addiction for Frogger and still laughs when the frog gets splattered.
He's laughing because his dick's called Frogger.
And he still laughs when his frog
When did you last splat the frog, Dean?
I've always got out in traffic.
Oh, he goes on to say, also look up a game called BJ Returns. He shits you not. Legendary, he says. Had an Atari ST 1040 computer and played Outrun and Barbarian. Outrun's a good game. Whilst defending against all the wankers with Amigas. First console was a Master System, while the first console was actually a Sinclair QL, you dingus. Because it counts as a console generation. But I remember playing an older friend's original Atari console, which looked a little something like this. He's provided pictures, everybody have a look. Played cassette games.
I remember that.
So easy to hack. What a piece of machinery. Look up the game Frack. It's a caveman fighting aliens with a yo-yo. That's gaming.
Frack.
He's also...
Got Greenpeace are all uppity about it.
Yeah. Maybe this is what fracking is.
No, more frack.
Cheers for the trip.
Government is going behind the scenes to approve frack.
I think these cavemen should go back to where they came from.
Cheers for the trip down memory lane. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but it is basically one up from a speak and spell. But we love them. I'm off to replace all the state-of-the-art MI6 computers with Ataris. The Deadly Nightshades may have the P for a few days.
What?
Have the P? Explanation next week, please, James.
P as in PEA or...
Is it
Literally P, the letter P. So watch for unscheduled assassinations from the Whitney little bastards. I think he's...
Lost his mind a
I
little.
think he lost his mind a little bit towards the end of this email.
Has been experimenting with
Joe's is back on the crispy Kringle.
Yeah. Still love her. And he's put a picture of an Atari.
Aww.
And of course, it was sent from his iPhone.
That might explain it.
Yes. The Whitney little bastards. Did you mean wicked little bastards, do you think?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Do we think that is delving into the psychiatric drugs they're testing?
What, our very own
possibly.
version of MK Ultra?
Yeah.
BJ.
Just sitting there tripping out on
BJ Mega. Oh dear.
Well, that was a wild ride.
That was a wild ride. A trip back down memory lane to when James lost his mind and talked about a game called Frack, which literally is a caveman fight and just saying frack. Look, he's got a little speech bubble saying frack. Frack. Excellent.
That console at the top looks like
The 1040.
it looks like the top of a photocopier.
It does, yeah. Even looks like it's got one of those old style car phones. Yeah. Controller.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That does look like something that was installed in a 1979 BMW.
Yeah, and was all the better for it as well. Excellent. So that was that. So
And that is that.
That is that.
We are going to solve a first world problem this week.
We are going to solve a first world problem this
And
week.
where is that problem coming from? Mr. Dean Robinson.
Well, guys, I've recently moved, and it was an absolute fucking pain in the arse. I didn't have any boxes, so we had to carry all the DVDs and books by hand, like fucking slaves.
Like animals.
Like, it was horrendous. So, guys, help me. Next time I move, there must be some kind of laser-guided drone system you can help me with.
Now,
Get some boxes.
I am up for this.
Are you?
I am going to say that I think we have done something similar to this before.
Have we?
I'm sure we have. Somewhere in the archive of See If It Sticks.
Send your answers on a stamped.
Yeah, I'm sure we have helped someone to move house or at least do something.
Transport something.
Yeah. However, given that in my current job we have a 40,000 ball giant ball pit.
That's a lot of balls.
Interestingly enough, if I'm not sure whether you would be, but I don't know if you watch Celebrity Juice.
No.
Very occasionally.
The other night on Celebrity Juice with John Barrowman and Gino D'Acampo.
Love a bit of Gino D'Acampo.
Me too, actually.
On this morning.
Yeah.
Not sure.
There was.
He's
an Italian chef.
Yeah, who is foul-mouthed when he is on Celebrity Juice.
Famous for eating a wild rat on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which he got in trouble for because he caught it and cooked it, and everyone said it was delicious, but they weren't actually supposed to catch wildlife there. They didn't have permission to catch wildlife. They are supposed to eat emu testicles and whatnot, but when they're starving hungry, you're not allowed to catch a rat and eat it.
Yes.
I don't understand,
it's a whole world.
And light entertainment. Let's watch a chef
what did you do tonight?
Chef excellence over there.
They lost out on eating a kangaroo's arsehole. So Gino D'Acampo, B-list celebrity chef.
D.
Caught. No, I mean in the celebrity chef world.
Oh wow, being a B-list celebrity chef.
Yeah. That's like a D-list.
So what would you class the people that go on Saturday Kitchen as celebrities? Because technically they're celebrity chefs, but I've never seen them before.
Saturday Kitchen.
You know, like they used to have a chef or two on, or Sunday brunch.
I would say those chefs. I would say are more like the C-list celebrity chefs.
That's crazy
because they are obviously doing very well for themselves, but it's not your Gordon Ramsay, your Jamie Oliver,
don't really know
your Nigella Lawson, your Gino D'Acampo.
She doesn't even have a show anymore. She just does adverts for Thai food.
That is true.
Yeah,
I make Nigella Lawson's salted caramel sauce on a regular basis.
Do you have to do it in a sexy way?
Yeah, of course. You have to rub it all over yourself afterwards.
Yeah,
but it's such a simple recipe that it's amazing.
Do you remember when she first came around, Nigella Lawson? How it was so what's the word? It was relatively controversial, her whole shtick. When she's lips. And then you look back at it now, and it's like, how was that in any way? It's just a middle-aged woman just going this tastes really nice.
If I had to guess, I would say...
She's not sitting there fudding herself with a fucking cucumber, is she?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If I was going to take a wild guess, I would say that... Who do you think, when you watch Points of View or something like that...
And Points of View still televised?
I don't know.
I know you get it on Radio 4.
Right,
it's not Points of View, it's called something else on Radio 4. But people go in and go... Oh, when Andrew Marr said this on Today's Show the other day, I thought it was outrageous.
Yeah. But
I think now that Twitter is a thing, that show's kind of relevant because now everyone's getting their own fucking point of view.
Yeah.
Now that old Tezza's dead, surely Points of View's died with him.
I don't know. Anne Robinson was doing it, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She used to do it.
Anne Robinson?
Yeah.
Now she's doing shows on nonsense bullshit.
It's Weakest Link, is that still going?
No.
Right.
Hasn't been going for a number of years.
Right,
I
okay.
watched it. I hated it. It was just her being a cunt.
Yes.
That was his main...
It's essentially
we've used one of our 3 cunts on the show. Oh, no, that's the second one.
It's essentially a show where a millionaire just goes to random people going, fucking thick or something.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
That was his
USP. A millionaire with the
that was his
answers in front of
USP.
her.
That was his USP for me.
Yeah. But my point of view is that I would sort of say that if I had to give you a
fucking hate points of view,
give you a photo fit for who complains about television. If you see something on television that you don't like, what do? Turn it over, right?
Yeah.
Right. My problem with Points of View is the same problem I have with Angela Rippon and Rip Off Britain.
Dom, I've still got a bit of a bad chest and a bit of a tickly throat, so you're going to have to Rippon for me.
Rippon! But seriously, I once watched Points of View, right? And someone messaged into Points of View and made poor old fucking Terry Wogan, British institution it was, sort of talk about this, right? The problem was this. The complaint was this. I was watching David Attenborough's Blue Planet. This is sort of ages it a bit.
Right.
Blue Planet the other night. And the music was too loud. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Right.
The dramatic music was too loud on the show. So the whole point of those shows is it's eye porn. It's porn for your eye. And also David Attenborough in the background talking about Wales for the 50th time is great as well. But like, you've heard it all before. That's my problem with nature programs. You've heard it all before. You just need to watch it.
Yeah, to me, nature programs are the equivalent of watching a fish tank. It's relaxing and
or a
enjoyable.
fire.
Yeah,
There's something really beautifully hypnotic about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
That is helped with David Attenborough's voice because he's got like a very soothing, relaxing voice, and he's very interesting and very intelligent. But you could watch it with the sound off.
Well, there's a whole thing now called slow TV. There's actually a website called Napflix.
Right, okay.
Where you can go on and it's like, you know, the fire, like programs about bridges, that sort of thing.
Do you know what? Say that. Over the weekend when I was feeling a little bit worse for wear and my girlfriend Mandy has just started to come down with it as well, there was actually a point on, I think, Sunday where on Netflix, you know, you can watch The Fire.
Yes.
The log fire. Maddie put the log fire on and I said, why are you putting this on? And she said, you know, I'm not feeling too well and neither are you. And I was like, oh... There's nothing appealing about this. 2 hours later, I woke up.
Literally, me and Jem did exactly the same thing yesterday as well. But we ended up flicking through, because there's a whole new like set of stuff on Netflix, which is that, besides slow TV. And we watched 2 hours of the slow train ride from Bergen to Oslo.
Wow.
You know, the 7-hour train ride?
That sounds incredible.
That does sound great.
And you go, there's like whole stretches of time where it's pitch black, where you have to go through these mountain tunnels for 10 minutes.
It must be so depressing being a struggling scriptwriter, desperate to get your sitcom made, and then you flick on Netflix and they've just filmed a fucking train ride.
It's beautiful countryside you go through. Like it's, you know, if it was just like the train ride from Sheffield to like fucking Manchester, might be a different story. But
there's a burning homeless man.
Yeah. But it was so relaxing. We just sort of, and I was like, wait, we should stop watching this and watch something. And she's like, no. We're like, yeah, in a minute.
I actually like it,
fucking 15 minutes later.
It sort of takes you by surprise, doesn't it? Yeah. A few weeks ago, I encountered a YouTube video of, I think it was in Thailand or something like that. They've got these sort of little, I'm not sure what they're used for, but these little sort of like train tracks in these sort of middle of nowhere, like, you know, in sort of like Thailand, they've got that very like lush greenery, sort of looks like lots of shoots and things like that.
Is that for all the people trafficking they do?
Like bamboo and stuff like that.
People trafficking?
Yeah.
I don't know, but basically you can go along them, and they have these little carts. They're like tiny, like they're sort of like boarded with bamboo. They don't look very comfortable, but they've got like a little like, you know, like a 2-stroke motor that you can get on them, and you get like 5 or 6 people on them. And basically, it was a video of what happens when you encounter another train coming in the opposite direction.
Right.
And it was like, the fascinating bit of it is that you pull up, and it's, you know, because it's like a little 2-stroke motor thing. All your family gets off, and you pull the top off,
right? And
it's got some, some wheels and some, what's it called? The pole that goes through. Axle. God, word completely escaped me then. So you take the sort of the top off of it and put it over to the side of the track, and then you get someone on the other side of the wheels, because they're obviously quite heavy wheels, to lift them off to the side, and then the other one goes past, and then they help you put it back on the tracks. Fascinating, you know. It's like a,
that's weird.
It's like you know, another piece of the world. You don't sort of see that thing happen. But I ended up watching 13 minutes of the journey until they get there. And then watched 3 or 4 minutes after they set back off again, because you're going through, there's no noise, you know, there's no industry or cars and that. You're just going through. All you can hear in the background is the faint rumble of this little, like, you know, like a basically like a chainsaw motor or something, which powers these little things. And you're just going through this sort of lush undergrowth with a, you know, a little small carved out rickety old train track thing.
Awesome. I watched an entire documentary on BBC4 a few weeks ago on the A303.
That's slightly more boring.
You'd think, but it was fascinating.
Yeah.
It's the one with Stonehenge on it.
Ah, right. Okay.
It's like an old Roman road. I know a lot about the A303, I didn't think. And recently, me and Jen went to Somerset and came back on the A303. I was like, remember this bit? Remember this bit? This is where if you stop here, this is where you can walk off and find a secret grotto.
This is my favourite junction.
It's going to be one of those things like in 10 years' time when you have children, Dom, and you're going to be driving down the A303 and you're going to be spouting off all this information. They're going to be going to class and like all their friends are going to be like going like, yeah, my dad's a hand-foot technician. Oh, really? My dad designed, the black hole grenades you use in people's bathrooms to take away the smell. My dad knows a lot about the A303.
But the first two I did as well.
That is true. Well, I was just going by.
So is it my three children all saying what I do?
I was just going by, your child is schizophrenic.
Yeah. So my three different children by three different women finally meet and they go, wait a second, my dad knows a lot about the A303 as well. So does mine. Is your dad? Yes, we have the same father.
You know what? That is a more interesting story than when you watch the realization that it's his dad in Indiana Jones 4.
Because
we don't speak about that.
That is like Voldemort in his you do not say its name.
I enjoy it to some extent.
No.
Every time Kate Blanchett opens her mouth, I want to claw my skin off. Is it Kate Blanchett?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually. Do you know what? I should never have brought it up.
You've opened this Pandora's box.
I've opened the Ark.
Nuclear vessels.
I've opened the Ark of the Covenant. Dean's face is melting off as we speak.
While screaming derogatory nonsense at Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. They're interdimensional beings.
Oh, fucking hell.
Let's get back now to my...
You got to pull us back from
Let's get back to my balls.
Yes.
Celebrity Juice.
Yes.
Shit, yeah, that went off.
Celebrity Juice, yeah.
That was tangential.
So there was a recent episode of Celebrity Juice where John Barrowman, I believe, opened...
This is where it started. I was explaining who Gino De Campo
opened some sort of office and thousands of balls fell out. And then so he and Gino De Campo and Fern Cotton and people all got into this giant office room full of balls. Those were my balls.
No,
they came.
Celebrity balls.
They came from us.
Hello.
Fern Cotton's been in our balls. Gino De Campo has been in our balls, and John Barrowman has been in our.
How much
balls.
are you charging per ball?
Depends what you want to do with them.
Well, Ross is going to teach me a little technique.
Ross is going to shoot Fern Cotton balls at everyone.
Apparently, I had to stretch my foreskin to an unbelievable amount.
She's an unbearably smug cunt as well.
Is that?
That's cunt number 3.
Fern Cotton. There's another one I dislike. She pretends like she's normal and she's so like thing, but all she's ever fucking done is be on TV. She can't give normal people any sort of fucking advice whatsoever.
Here's something. I very, very rarely get crushes on celebrities because they're not people to me. They're just faces on a screen. They're not.
But now that you've looked up Gino De Campo, Mamma mia!
That's one of spicy meatball.
I was listening to a podcast the other day where Adam Buxton was interviewing Lauren Laverne.
Right. Okay.
Googled her. She is pretty foxy.
Foxy lady.
This
podcast comes to you from 1987.
Smoking.
And 1993.
That whole sort of era.
Yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Oh man, she's real foxy.
Damn, that's a fine looking piece of booty.
Go on, dude. You were masturbating over Lauren Laverne.
But yeah, it just kind of struck me. Like I very rarely get crushes on like famous people. Have you guys ever like just watched TV and just thought, holy shit, I would?
When I was younger, a lot.
Posh Spice?
No.
I liked Posh Spice out of the 5.
Did you? I was more of a baby guy.
Initially I was baby.
Could you clarify, please?
Baby Spice. I don't know. As you know, I do have a type. It's blonde, short blondes. As
She does fulfill those criteria.
as evidenced by my current girlfriend, who is a short blonde.
So, moving house, balls. How does that relate?
Well,
True.
well, the thing is, when we need to
I
move,
thought we were talking about celebrities we liked.
Oh yeah, of course.
when we need to,
What about you, Dan?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, I love Charlize Theron. So that's my
Rita Corney, Michael.
yes. That's my big celebrity crush.
Mr.
But then there we go with if you're talking about a type, because my girlfriend is also fairly tall, beautiful, and blonde. So
Always had a thing for Brittany Murphy, and she's dead, so I'm in for a shot now.
Brittany Murphy. Is she?
Which one's Brittany Murphy?
Is she the one from Sin City who's like, don't do it?
He's a cop.
Clive Owen.
Yeah.
Clive Owen's banging her, but then the guy comes along, Clive Owen kills him, and his dead body's talking to Clive Owen.
Yeah.
I can't picture her.
Get her up for you.
You are talking about you're talking about a picture, aren't you? You're not talking about your penis.
Yeah, Brittany Murphy. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever. Fucking hell. See, if my missus was here right now, she'd be like, fucking this one.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. I know Brittany Murphy, yeah.
I did have a thing for, what's her name? Christina Aguilera in the Dirty video. I remember that.
Really?
That was around the whole sort of time of, sexual awakening.
I remember having
as a boy.
kind of a sexual awakening to that side boob Kylie Minogue video.
I just can't get you out of my head.
Yeah. A lot of music video sort of like moments.
Really?
Which sort of pays homage to the fact that people think music videos are far too sexy for young kids these days.
Pretty much porn now.
I know, it's insane. Do you remember...
I don't think I've seen a music video.
Do you remember back when we were kids and then after dark, a couple of the music channels did really like...
Yeah, they did the X-rated
hardcore X-rated versions of like certain hip-hop videos and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like the Snoop Dogg ones. Where it's literally just excerpts from his porn film.
Yes. Lovely.
Hilarious. Back to my balls.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we're getting quite a few bookings for these balls now.
Who knew balls would be such a lucrative business?
Well, we had absolutely no idea, but we got thousands of them. We got about 50,000 of them, I think. And so sometimes we send them out to the club nights in a giant inflatable ball pit, and sometimes they just want them. So, for example, like we had them out for an advert recently. They're going to be on some advert, Celebrity Juice. So we occasionally.
Who knew balls would be so hard to come by as well?
Well, the thing is that it's the quantity,
right?
So you can get hold of them, because the thing is, to buy them, they're quite expensive,
right?
But once you've got them, you can obviously charge, like it might have cost thousands to buy them, but we can recoup that in, a few bookings, for example.
Right.
So that's why it kind of works, because if they want them for an advert or something, they don't want to spend, 15 grand buying 40,000 balls, which they're never going to have any use for again, but they can pay us
however much they pay
to rent them for the day. And we get them there. This is my point. We get them there. So we've got a guy that does regular sort of man and van work for us. He's got a big Luton van, which, if you don't know anything about vans, are the ones that have kind of got that square bit on the back.
Box lorry.
Yeah, big
7.5 tonner.
Yeah. So
men,
our balls just about fit in his box. Lorry. And so we could fit all 40,000.
How many balls you could fit in Ross now?
I haven't had the update, but I'll look out.
He's up to 10,000 now.
I'll look out for his text message. So trying to pack out 40,000 balls. We've got nets for them, but the nets are not particularly heavy because they're just play balls. But there are a lot of nets of them, and the other problem is that when you have the ball pit up, getting the things back into the net is a nightmare. We have to use buckets to sort of put them back into the net.
It flows like a liquid.
It takes about 2 hours.
What you should get is like a giant ball vacuum.
that does exist, but it's $3,500,
Wow.
Yikes.
and it cleans them as they come out as well.
I suppose that's for the kiddie play areas and
Yes,
stuff.
correct. Yeah.
Poopy balls.
I think
Ooh.
it might be worth buying one of those, but the thing is, at the moment, our system of just paying a few kids for 2 hours to pack them up, and then getting one in for 5 hours to spray them all down with a power hose, and
You proper jet wash them.
yeah, we jet wash them, and then we have them in oh god, I can't remember the name of it. That stuff you use to sanitize baby products. Milton.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we sanitize them with Milton.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're all clean. You
Yeah.
can't like be delivering them to Elstree Studios to go to Celebrity Juice if Fern Cotton's going to be finding like a plaster in there or something.
Some week old
Excuse me.
tampon.
Yeah.
So
So
clumpy, these balls.
yeah, so I mean, I feel the pain of moving things because we often have to move, and the thing is, you can't just leave it to other people. You have to sort of get involved.
Yeah.
They're trying to shift these things around. I would like a better solution to moving things
Transporting
around.
goods.
Yeah. So now I believe that the way that we did it last time, I'm sure what we did is we turned gravity off.
What? That would just make
Why
things
didn't
messier.
I think of that?
What we did is we got like a, when you get a bug spray tent, like in Breaking Bad,
Yes.
we covered the house in question in this
Yes,
tent.
I do remember it.
And then we turned gravity off inside so that what you could do is you could just pack things up and kind of like, you wouldn't have to lift them.
And it'd be like a giant hobo's bindle.
Yes.
Oh my God,
So
yes.
you could kind of like just throw things out the window or whatever, and it would by, like if you throw something in a tent, it would sort of
Yeah.
follow the line of the tent
Yeah.
down. So you could basically have like a track that you could sort of push things out. It would go down, or you could, make it particularly easy to go downstairs and things like that. If you got something heavy like a wardrobe or something, you need to get it down the stairs. It'd be easy to get it down the stairs. One person could do it. That is, I believe, how we did it last time.
Yes, I seem to remember wanting it all to go up into one big sack that floats in the air and then
I
just
think
carry it along.
that could be the case. Yes,
That sounds like a bit of me.
Mm-hmm.
but I am willing to. I would like to think of something else.
Another problem I have had is now all of my books. I have many, many comic books, all different superheroes.
Leather-bound books.
Yeah.
My apartment smells of
gentleman's
rich.
literature. I have many, many comic books, different superheroes, different publishers.
Mm.
And now I've just bunged them all on the shelf and they're all out of order. And it's driving me crazy and I haven't got time to reorganize them because it's going to take hours.
So really, we need a way to transport the contents of a house in exactly the way.
The same
way.
configuration.
Yes.
Obviously, the instant future tech version solution is matter transportation,
Yes.
which we are closer to as a species as we never have been before.
Do you remember in the show Dragon Ball Z, everything could collapse into a capsule?
Yes, it does. Yes, I do. I do remember that.
Okay.
So
Explain.
as an anime, so basically their entire technology is based around, because in Japan, basically this is just a bit of cultural context. In Japan, like those little capsule machines you get toys out of,
Yeah.
are immensely popular, and you can get all sorts of stuff in
Really?
Right.
capsules.
Is that why Pokemon is so popular?
Yes.
Little things. in
Yeah,
balls.
basically that's where the idea of Pokemon comes from.
Right.
Bug collecting and that, because Pokeballs are like the little capsules.
Bug collecting.
Bug collecting.
Bug collecting, yeah. Basically, the creator of Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know when you get a bug and like you press flowers, you do the same with bugs.
Right.
It was popular in Victorian times, but it's a relatively
I know
popular.
like butterfly collecting.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah.
Ah.
So basically, it's a popular pursuit in Japan, and basically, the creator of Pokemon absolutely loved bug collecting and wanted to put it into a game and sort of like capture the feeling of that, but in a game.
I suppose Butterfly Capture Simulator 1994 doesn't really have quite the same ringers.
No, but
Pocket
then-
Monsters.
Pocket monsters, yeah, and then had the idea of like kids collect these toys from these capsules and stuff like that. Anyway, in Dragon Ball Z, basically all their technology is based around having stuff in these tiny capsules.
Okay.
So it's basically like the Pokemon thing, like taking something really big and putting it inside a little.
So there's some
Miniature.
sort of process of shrinking.
And then some sort of process
So
of
there's this character who she went to a different planet and she just took out this little capsule from her bag, clicked it, and then a house appeared.
Right. Okay.
with all the trimmings
Yeah,
inside,
all plumbed in.
all plumbed
Wi-Fi.
in, Wi-Fi,
Right.
aircon,
Gravity trainings.
Okay.
gravity training.
How would you
simulator.
plumb all that in? Because you need to connect it to the
Well,
main,
it would be a
mains
form of that.
electricity.
There would be a whole form of like matter transportation, wouldn't it? So that's sort of like.
But I mean, like, how would you plumb it and like connect it to the mains electricity? You'd have to have like.
Well, it
some
has its
sort
own
of-
generator and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it doesn't plumb into that because it
And
was like
surely this is job. Well,
That's R&D's job
You're
to do.
the idea guys. He's got to do.
I was thinking maybe that if this is how you were going to transport houses and stuff like that, then maybe you'd have like, you know, like when you get like a magnetic power lead, like
Yeah.
for example on a MacBook or something, and it's sort of by you got three sort of half balls which connect to
We'll come back to
three
balls with you.
three convex balls which connect to three concave balls.
Right. Oh,
Don't you say
hello.
to when your concave balls connect to someone else's convex balls?
and it
I do love it.
It holds you in there and transfers the energy. Like, I was thinking that maybe every house would have to have something, but then if you're moving house, you
Like
probably don't-
modular housing.
Yeah, but if
Is
you're
it-
moving house, you don't want to keep the same house, do you?
No.
No, but this is what
Another problem I
this
have.
is the whole idea with the capsule thing is that you could buy different houses and put them wherever you wanted.
Right.
Another problem
So
I
you
have.
buy the house from a showroom
Right.
and then it will be put into
So-
this
so if you-
capsule or pluggable.
So if you sell your
house
house, what you would actually do is instead of leaving it there, what you would do is you would pack up the house into its capsule.
yeah,
And then you would take it to a
like
shop,
a used car dealership.
Right, and then so there would be, I presume, there would be some way of being able to look inside the capsule.
Well, what they'd do is they'd out the back they'd have plots of land,
Right. okay.
which they
So
could
give a test live.
do a test like viewing. So you'd have
Okay.
like, you know, 5 or 6 square plots of land, so the salesman can go out and do it, and it would be as easy as flicking a switch and it'd go back into
What
his
would
little
happen
thing.
if you forgot to take the dog out? It's this bleeding capsule.
Well, no, the whole thing is it's sort of like essentially what it is it's a bit Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's a bit Star Trek matter transportation. So basically what you're doing is, if you think about it, is you are holding the matter in like a sort of energy suspension inside this capsule, house, pokeball, whatever you want to call it, in like a static state, in a non-moving, non-entropic state. And then when you're
What was the bullshit Ant-Man science?
pin particles.
So
Yeah.
let's get some pin particles up in my shit.
Do you know what I mean? So like
so
you,
basically, half the work's already done here. It's already been developed.
Oh, so I've got. Has anyone got Hank Pym's Twitter? I can just hit him up.
I don't actually. Yeah,
Oh,
we
nice.
don't often come across him in the ball renting world.
yeah, so you'd hold this energy in there, and then every time you release it, it releases it back into like full 3-dimensional reality.
A question that I have is
That was very quantum.
a question that I have is that, for example, you know, things when you plug things in and whatnot, like it only has a certain amount of times you can do it. Like there's only a certain amount of times you can turn something on.
Battery
You know,
holder
like your
charge,
your
yeah.
hob at home. There's only a certain amount of times, hundreds of probably thousands of times that you can turn the hob on and it will turn on as it is.
Wear and
supposed to.
tear.
Yeah, wear and tear. Is there going to be some sort of wear and tear taken in and out of this ball? If it's a house that sort of like maybe has been on the market for a while, it's going in and out, is it going to get shabbier the more you use it? Like
Well-
like the more you share a JPEG.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is
It's gonna
going
get
to,
pic-
and
it's
then
gonna get
basically that
pixelated.
house gets destroyed.
Right.
So you'd have to, it would have a certain amount of life, but it would have the
love to
same
go
amount
into
of
a pixelated house.
It was same amount of life as a regular house, because every time it goes in this suspension, it's held, as I said, in a non-entropic
Suspended
state.
animation.
Right.
So
okay.
it doesn't get affected.
It's like a Matrix style goo inside. or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, but the amount of energy involved in actually creating this piece of technology would probably preclude the fact of it being wear and tear,
Right.
because we would have come to a point. It's like house on a can.
Love it.
So that way would be a race then of nomadic,
Like tent people, but house people.
yeah, like a nomadic race then.
Right.
So obviously you'd still have fixed premises like businesses and factories and stuff, because that's sort of a little bit too complex. But you,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in this world, they wouldn't go
Yeah.
that far.
That's too far fetched.
it's too far.
That's
But-
beyond the pale.
Well, I don't know. It just makes it a little bit awkward for like logistics and stuff like that, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
What if you accidentally?
But you could do like a view swap with your neighbour.
What if you accidentally activate it while you're like
Having a poo.
you're trying to get out of the bath? You slip. You crash down on the medicine.
Well, no,
cabinet that's
it
got
would
your-
have
that's
to
got
be-
your household. All
It would
in
have to be a whole rigmarole of a process. It couldn't just be a switch you flick.
Two keys you turn at the same time.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Right,
Press the
okay.
button, arm the vehicle.
Who gets the
That-
keys?
Well, you and the council. I don't know.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What then if, like, Mr. Thompson is living in his house, his wife's having an affair with Mr. Davis on the council. They want to do away with Mr. Thompson, so she gets hold of one key, and Mr. Davis on the council gets hold of the other key.
Then he drives home to an empty plot.
Or he drives home and gets.
Yeah, he's in the house. What if he's in the house?
Well, he dies, but then if Mr. Davis in the council and Mrs. Thompson were having the affair anyway, they might blow Mr. Thompson's brains out in the first place. Even if they didn't have fucking house in a can.
Well,
So-
she wants to leave him, but she can't find a way to leave him. She doesn't want to.
Yeah, but it
murder
would
him.
be genetically keyed, wouldn't it? So we would know exactly who did what.
Right. Okay. But then
Yeah.
what if they just disappear the ball, put it down the drain, crush it?
Well, you couldn't, could you? Because it's made to last.
Lots of the Titanic was made to last, Dom.
Yes, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Multi-award-winning film.
Very true.
It's lasted in our memory.
Mr. Thompson and Mr. Davis, the new summer blockbuster.
When a Thompson meets a Davis, the Davis comes off worse.
Davis conspiracy.
This is Thompson's with the Davis, and then Davis does a thing. He gets trapped in a house that's in a can.
Then they could do a sequel.
It's like that episode of Rick and Morty where they watch Interdimensional Cable. Two brothers and a Mexican armada.
And then they could do Thompson versus Davis 1.5, where they show the in between bits where Mr. Thompson is finding his way around the inside of this container.
The Thompson dilemma.
The Thompson dilemma.
Yeah,
Love
and
it.
then the last film would be like the Davis conspiracy.
Yeah.
And then it's Thompson versus Davis, the final battle.
Where they team up to fight against the woman.
The woman, yeah, and the woman turns out to be like a interdimensional trickster. Yeah, and then they're all stuck in like various house in a cans, and
But then they get all the houses and the cans together.
and then basically they create a new universe.
I'm picturing like the third act of Monsters Inc., where they're in the back room with all the doors.
Yeah.
Except for it's like my office, but with house balls instead of play balls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Brilliant. So how are we going to solve my organisation problem?
Well, everything would be in place.
So everything would be in place. Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
I mean, I like this, but it does seem a little bit too convenient for me.
How you
But
doing?
maybe I'm just a skeptic.
Or maybe you're just jealous that I thought of it first.
Maybe I am.
How easily marketable is that? House in a can.
Another thing that's really pissed me off, DC Comics with the new 52 Batman graphic novels. So all the spines were uniform. Black text, the bottom bit was blue.
Yeah.
When it got to issue volume 7, they changed the fucking spine design.
I haven't noticed.
Why
that
do
yet, 'cause
these
I haven't-
people do this?
I haven't picked up 7 yet.
Oh dear.
Why?
It does really annoy me when people change spine designs on things.
Yeah.
That's something that we can't solve with this house in a can.
No, but perhaps
Maybe you should write to Points of View.
DC's version of Points of View.
Yeah.
Dear Jim Lee, I was very disappointed with your spine design.
I was trying to think of a good
Letters to the editor.
I was trying to think of a good DC pun for Points of View, but I can't.
I'm trying to think of it.
Points of New 52.
No.
Points of New 50. No.
Points of 52.
I was trying to think of a superhero that sounded like View, but I can't.
no.
I can't come to any.
Not a DC
No.
one, I can't.
No, it's gone. It's not there. Yeah, I think you should maybe get Anne Robinson on the case or Terry Wogan. He's not doing much these days.
He will rise from the grave
to help my organisation problems.
on this.
Yeah, because I think Anna Robinson, my house, was like, "What? You're going to put Green Lantern there?"
Yeah.
You're some kind of fucking weakest link. Sorry, didn't do well in school.
Maybe you could have a tiny little person in the ball that
I've just had an even better
during
idea.
transportation could tidy it up for you.
Yeah. Also, here's an idea.
Go on.
Every time you want to move, you move to a dimension where the where your house is in a different location. It's a different house, but everything is in the same place.
Can you
Because within the
imagine-
multiple with the multiplicity of the multiverse, there has to be somewhere where it's the same house you want to buy, but it's also got you in it, and
it's
also
closer to the train.
but it's got everything set up the way you want it set up.
Can you imagine that though? Like turning around to like your loved ones and being like, you know, it's bad enough when families, like someone in a family is like, yeah, I'm moving to Australia. Like trying to turn around and be like, yes, I'm moving to dimension C389.
Yeah, see,
And
but
then
the
you've
only
got
downside is you'll be ruled by your insect overlords, but you'll have everything you need.
And then you've got all the UKIP insect overlords going, these fucking Earth Oneers coming over here,
Yeah.
walking on their hand feet.
With their black hole poop grenades,
Who do they think they are?
with their butt butlers.
Yeah, I mean, I am quite satisfied. If you didn't want to take the house, if you could, you could scale it down to just a room.
Yeah.
Like you could set, because you'd have to set a border for this stuff, wouldn't you? You'd have to.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to like there'd have to be some sort of.
I would love some kind of drag and drop kind of system.
Do you know what the difficulty in this is going to be? Size. Because if you,
I have downsized massively.
yeah, this is the thing. If you've got a room, say you can sort of like set out a laser mesh to where the boundaries of the room are. I suppose what you would have to do is you'd have to measure maybe you could input into your sort of containment system. You could put it in the middle of the floor, and you can input the schematic of the room that it's going into. So you can have a ball for kitchen, you can have a ball for dining room,
Like those scannables in that film Prometheus.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
So it'll sort of
Without the terrible writing.
it'll project out, and it will show you the dimensions of the room. You can move things then into the place that you want them, and then you can
Produce like a holographic simulacrum of the room.
yeah, like a
And you can
represent.
like play around on a computer like in a CAD design.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
a
thing.
representation of the room. You can muck around with it, because then you could like put your bed.
You wouldn't even have to physically move it. Like Dean says, you can just be on the computer and just be like that, and then the ball or whatever scans everything, puts it in the right place inside the ball, and then just goes
Yeah.
like
Love it.
bookshelf, return.
Last question
I
then.
choose you.
Last question before we mark this as solved. Then I'm gonna propose that the noise that it makes as it goes into the ball is the following.
More than anything I'd ever want to know in my
I
life.
concur.
What's the noise going to be coming back out? Oh.
It's a really satisfying pop. Yes, that's when you transport it. That's its natural humming. What the fuck's that noise? Oh, yeah, it's my house. I'm in my pocket.
It's my dining room.
A bit spooky, isn't it?
I like a spooky dining room. Are we calling it solved?
I think we should call that solved.
Jung jung.
Boom.
Chung chung. Law and Order.
In that case, we need to think of a name for the podcast.
House in a can.
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 You don't want to do Dan's Big Ball Bonanza?
That's that. That's all. Oh, okay. You're tickling my alliteration hole.
Dean, any suggestions?
I want to make some kind of reference to Holly Willoughby all over Dan's balls.
It was Fern Coffin.
Oh, same person, basically.
One's a bit more stacked.
I really like Big Ball Bonanza.
Let's do it. It's going to be Big Ball Bonanza.
I didn't realise this was a democracy.
Yeah. Is it unanimous?
Let's do Big Ball. Big Ball Bonanza, not Dan's Big Ball Bonanza.
Oh,
Big Ball
okay.
Bonanza.
Oh, because you haven't had your name in the title enough, have you?
I've never had my name in the title.
I bet you have. I'm
Probably.
sure of it.
Let's just do Big Ball Bonanza.
Big Ball Bonanza.
Yeah.
Fine.
Chung chung.
Because basically the solution was about something in a ball anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Chung chung.
Well, that has been See If It Sticks for this week. As usual, you can head to stickitpod.com to get all of the information you need about the podcast, whether it be previous episodes, how to contact us, all of our social media channels, and a little bit of information that's probably a little bit outdated about us. Not Dean, because that would be weird, because why would we have anything about Dean on there unless we were stalking him? Because we're definitely not stalking him.
No.
But that's what a stalker would say. We want to hear your first world problems.
Yeah, I find it weird I wasn't invited to. You guys just turned up in my house.
Yeah.
Balaclava.
See if it sticks on the road.
Gorilla podding.
Yeah. As you said, this is your first world problems. We need your first world problems. Without first world problems, we have no podcast. Without you, we have no podcast. And also send us any corrections or interesting tidbits you might have, because we will read them out. We've got quite a pile of first world problems at the moment, but we always want more.
More and more and more.
We will be back on Monday with the news that sticks. But for this week, I have been Dan.
I have been dumb.
And I have been Dean.